welcome to Spelljammer Gutter Stars. This is a live play of Spelljammer for 2nd edition AD&D, and we're on session 18 actually. I haven't updated that on the title. But yes, we are in the system, the star system of the Rock of Brawl, and our characters have arrived at a planet, a small planet called Shipwrecker. I have a few options of what to do. Alex, do you want to give a summary?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of dropped for the last half hour of last session, so maybe I'm not the best, but yeah, we.
Don't worry, you never pay attention anyway.
No. I mean, I took some notes, so yeah, we came to this world because we had there's basically constant mercenary work available for people who want to go kill goblins. And given we're level 1, that seems like a good place to start. Came to town, had a poke around, looked at some rumours, some other jobs, see what was available. We found some few bits. Heard about some possible guides. There's this bouncer who used to work as a mountain guide for the militia, and the Smith's son is apparently a good guide, so there's possibly some help available there. I don't think we went to them already. Not hearing a voice.
You talked to the bouncer. That was, I think, just at the very end.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
by the way, if anyone watching has an issue with the sound, because we had one small issue with the sound 2 sessions ago, just drop it in the comments.
Yeah. I think I've turned myself up a bit after that last one.
Yeah, so no, they talked to the bouncer, and the bouncer came in on a full share because he was like, "I'm higher level than you. I'm better at this than you."
Oh yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
He used to be a.
Go on, make your joke.
Yeah.
No, he used to be a pirate, so he knows about the pirates.
Oh yes, I do remember that. And speaking of which, we have kind of 3 jobs. So we have, as we expected, kill goblins, get paid. Is it just a general bounty of like 10 gold a head?
It says 5 in my notes.
5, okay.
5 a head, yeah. But it's a given they're raiders, it's a keep all the treasure job as well.
Yeah. However, we found 2 more interesting jobs. One a little bit higher level, perhaps something to build up to, and that was the Temple of Njord. The local temple of the god of storms, had their
the Storm King, as he is locally known.
Yeah, had their magical idol stolen, a powerful magical item, stolen by pirates.
The Chalice of Storms.
Yeah, and they want it back, and they're willing to pay
5,000 gold pieces, possibly?
5,000 gold pieces.
Or a further reward, 500 on the head of anyone. So 500 for the kind of the leader of the pirates or whoever's responsible for the theft. 5,000 for the return.
Yeah, so something to look forward to, perhaps. And also, there was a smaller job from a local wizard. Just about he'd had something stolen from him by his general store, I believe it was. And he wants us to steal it back.
The everything
It was a magic ring, I think.
The Ring of Free Action, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daniel, channel regular Daniel, is criticising the story gaming we're about to get up to. So we better make sure to get our funny voices on. Andrew's the expert here.
That's just how I sound normally.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've ever had gnome characters really before, so I could set the canon for what gnome accents sound like in your game.
That's gonna be a ban.
What do you mean? What do you mean a ban, Owen?
You don't even know how racist it's gonna sound yet.
Yeah, it could be. Only Marty.
It's just my voice, but slightly higher pitched and
yeah,
you know, slightly worse than usual.
Yeah. Can we just discuss what are people's views of gnomes? I feel like this is the most controversial thing in D&D. I don't think it's controversial. I think gnomes are fine, but like the amount of hatred from old school players actually as well for gnomes is incredible.
A lot of the time they're not very well distinguished from halflings. Like they're just you're a small person, and then when they are distinguished, it's like, yes, I'm an autistic small person. You know?
Yeah.
It does feel
Like,
like there's not a lot of room between dwarves and halflings for gnomes to exist as like a distinct thing.
Like there definitely is
Yeah.
room for them, but that room should be as more Fey, basically. Like,
Yeah.
more Fey even
Hey,
than elves.
the fourth edition.
Yeah.
Yes, pretty much. That's I mean, dwarves. I feel like I see dwarves as Thorin and company, hobbits, halflings, literally hobbits in but as hobbits, and who are sometimes adventurous, therefore, but very human-like. And gnomes are tricksy earth creatures. They are, in that sense, they are between dwarves and halflings for that reason. That's the way I see it. That's and obviously different kinds of gnomes are going to be different within that category, I think.
No, obviously
so-
gnomes are monolith, and they're all exactly
Yeah,
the same.
Yeah. Now the gnome racism starts. But yeah, so forest gnomes, irritating, do annoying things during woods. Rock gnomes, kind of crafty.
Wait a second. What?
Slightly sociopathic. What?
What are the gnomes doing to you in the woods?
They're not doing anything to me, Alex. I'm the DM.
Ah.
I've literally got a picture. I just put it on the Shipwrecker. Oh, sorry, on the relevant map. There. That's the challenge of storms. It's not. What is this? Is it Control Z? What is the make bigger?
Yeah,
Can't you just click it and click the corners and drag them to make it bigger?
I think it was, what was it?
Oh no, but there's
E to make
Shift
it pop up.
Oh, I know what you mean. I'm not DM'd on Roll20 in years.
I haven't done it for ages. Alex, zoom in on it.
I've zoomed in.
You can't.
I've zoomed in.
You have zoomed on it.
I can see can see all the pixels. Look at that face.
Yeah, all 12 of the pixels.
Look at that mustache. Look at that schnoz.
That is the Storm King's chalice, Njord's chalice. Daniel, one he suggests gnomes should be banned. We should not suffer them, like not suffering the heretic and the alien. But he then says we've got a very reason. So he's not a very good Imperial witch hunter.
Imperial gnome hunter.
Yeah. What ordo of the Inquisition are you in, Daniel? Oh, I'm in the Ordo Gnomus. But yeah, I suspect there's also the kind of like people doing stuff that's irritating. And Tinker Gnomes are not irritating in our game. But like Tinker Gnomes as a concept, like they're kooky gnomes. I think it's the same thing with this is the illicit kebab seller syndrome of just stuff that seems like it's just it's just there to be goofy. Ultimately, doesn't have to be that way. Cool. So now we've solved gnomes.
we solved philosophy. Now we've solved gnomes.
Yeah. Any other topics? Please put them in the comments, and we'll get on it as quickly as possible. Here, that new game Arkham Shadows is going to be good.
You heard the controversy over Assassin's Creed, or is that too spicy for?
That's probably too spicy. That's a private VC. I mean, I think I've literally read some of the controversy and just kind of was like, oh wow, Ubisoft do not know how to get out of their own way. That was my entire thought about Assassin's Creed. Like, there's a Leroy Jenkins thing going on sometimes with his, TV and video game productions. Yeah. With that said, yes. So, what job do you want to pursue? I think there are different views. I think some people were of the view that you should go and find the pirates and get the big amount of gold, high risk, high reward. Other people were of the view you should go and earn some easy money comparatively versus the goblins in the mountains and get people towards leveling up.
Yeah,
I mean, my pitch for the pirates is just that, like, if we go in and things go bad, then your lives may have to be sacrificed as I make my way back to safety. That's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make.
You're one of the good, you're a good half drow. Your family are from like a planet where all the drow worship Illustrae.
Illustrae.
Alistair, yeah. Jaeger bombs.
And you know what? As I'm sailing away, I'll dance to celebrate your life. There.
Yeah. Yeah, that to please Illustrae. Yeah.
Look, okay, I'm willing to go hunt some some goblins, at least until we get another level, because
Yeah.
I guess we do need to level up.
Yeah.
Only some can currently level. Simon will join us. As he refused to hold up the train, he will join us when he gets home.
We need money to level up. We have nothing.
Yeah. No. You technically have some cash on you, but that is owed to people on the Rock of Bral.
Well, it's as long as we have the cash for them when we get back. If we spend the cash we have on useful things, they'll never know.
And then go and yeah, we've got to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could, if you want free training, you could just go into a big tree and see what horrendous things are down there.
Yeah, we'll spend like a whole month getting lost in a swamp, and then get blinded by frogs in a tree.
Yeah, the dungeon with Blindim Obliviac, so no one remembers anything. They don't even remember the Obliviacs. That's how effective it was.
I got a little man.
Yeah, little moss man. Alex died. So great. Let's go and check. Yeah, let's go. I don't have a super player-friendly map of the wilderness. I could possibly make it, but it's sort of. I mean, it's literally like 10 miles through the wood to Mirror Lake, and the lumber camps are just beyond that, like the log, and then the mountains are near that. So it's really not very far away, actually. Great. So. Yes, you leave via that southern road, via the tent city, like via tent town. Anything else you need to do before you leave? I know you've done some shopping and done some bits, and you've gone to talk to various.
Do we have rations?
Yeah.
I don't appear to have rations. So I don't know if we did that before, but I will buy some rations.
Doc Jones, Bill, do you have rations?
I am checking now. I've just got slightly slow internet today.
Yeah. We should buy rations and other outland, survival stuff.
Yeah. Like all the stuff you never buy and always forget and make lists.
No. All the stuff I usually buy, but didn't buy this time because, we're in the Rock of Bral, we're in a city. What do we need? What do I need a tent for?
I have a ration.
Brilliant. We'll buy some rations.
It's 3 gold for 7. So
yeah.
I have watches.
That is a good thing.
Do we know how far
Do you have a tinderbox
to the?
Well, it's like 10 miles to Mirror Lake and a few more miles to the logging camp. So I guess, depending on your speed, you can make it in a day.
So a week of rations should be plenty. So we'll just get.
Yeah. And then you're going off into the woods or into the mountains, depending on your choice, basically, aren't you, at that point?
Yeah. I will take that out of what little party gold we have. So do you need rations of gold each?
I already purchased them previously.
Cool.
Okay,
so I'll just take 6 gold off for me and Andrew.
Yeah.
Maths.
7 minus 6.
42 minus 6 is 36.
Yeah.
For the viewers, I'm doing an engineering degree at the moment. It's going badly. I mean, there is a common joke that engineers cannot do maths.
Yeah.
Calculator was fun.
I mean, it stops being funny after that Baltimore Bridge, though, doesn't it?
Well, I think most bridges aren't designed to handle,
a ship,
a boat, ramming them.
Yeah.
Feels like a design flaw to me.
Yeah. Why didn't it have point defense systems installed? Great. Okay. I guess you should probably have a city encounter check for walking around in the city. That'll be a D6, I guess. It's daylight you're doing it. So
I'm just gonna check
Alex
how
can
much
do that, I suppose.
carry capacity I have. Like how much am I actually carrying? Oh, my strength's 10. I can probably carry a fair bit. I'll also pick up like a tent and rope and what else do I have in my inventory? I think tent and rope is all I'm missing, to be honest.
Bruno has 1831. Obviously, he's not actually. I think what's his AC? Does he actually have an AC listed? That's really annoying. Yeah, he has a +1 shield, so he's base AC. I think he'll get some leather, so he'll be base AC 6.
Nice.
But he can carry stuff, but he doesn't really want to carry all your rubbish. He'll carry some stuff, but like he's not gonna I'll be a mule. His view is, if you want a mule, you can buy a mule.
So is that a D6 encounter?
Yeah, D6 check.
6.
Yep, that's fine. So yeah, you'll get back to the Grey Cat. Had you paid for a day or for a week?
I feel like a week.
It'll be in the stash. 40 gold pieces for accommodation 4 days, I think. So far, possibly.
I mean,
that was the stuff on. That's the stuff on. What's it called, isn't it? So I don't think you've actually paid. I don't think you've paid for it yet.
We'd probably.
You're not paid for Ben Borges, I don't think.
Right, we'll pay that as we leave. But the question is, should we pay for a room for Jackson whilst we're away? Or is Jackson just gonna... Because Jackson's not coming with us, is he? I don't think.
It's a danger berry for him to come with you.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it coming with us. But also, like, that we're just gonna force him to stay on the ship for, like, 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
Should we give him a bit of money to enjoy himself whilst we're away?
Buy himself something nice.
May as well.
I mean, he does get a share of like everything we make, right?
Yeah.
You're going to force him to stay on the boat 24/7.
Well,
not allowed to leave.
Meals for in lodging for a week, common, which I think the Grey Cat is common, is 3 GP. City rooms per month, common would be 20 GP, but I guess you're looking at in lodging. Meal per day is common is 3 silver. So,
and we warn it. We say, do not eat any of the kebabs.
Yeah, isn't that? Yeah, I just remembered the Zithra. Jamie can't be with us tonight due to he's solving metaphysics for us. But his character. I don't actually know what his new character is called, but his first character, his main character, is currently an embed with like ringworm.
Yeah, I just have the opening note for the Shipwrecker area just says bad kebabs.
Oh yes, didn't someone get parasites? And that's why we were going to.
Yeah, Zithra did.
Yeah, Zithra got parasites. We were going to wait like a week before going adventuring so they could heal up.
But I think Jamie just made the second character in the stable. I think.
Yeah.
Which makes as much sense as anything. You have to carry the person back if they're alive. So
yeah.
There's upsides and downsides. So Jackson and Zithra are staying behind in the inn lodging, aren't they? Make a note, maybe on the stash forum or something, the stash sub, just that we need to calculate that, Alex.
For the
shipwrecker accommodation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've stayed one night already, and you'll obviously be staying more. You'll be eating a second night, and then you'll be leaving, which will be Jamie's character. Thumb would assume is coming, as in Simon's character will be with us tonight. Sam Hambat, the ranger, and you guys, and Bruno will be the party, and Zithra and Jackson will stay behind, and the chatters will stay behind, I guess, as well. Guarding the boat. Cool. Okay, so you're walking. What is your speed? You're on a road, so there's nothing particular, not difficult. But yeah, who's the slowest person here?
Probably me.
Well, are you 12 miles per 10 hours?
God, where is speed? I always forget to check this when I'm making character sheets.
Gnomes got our base speed 6, which means I think it means 12 hours per 10.
Yeah, I don't think I'm covered.
Yeah,
speed is 6. That means you start at half the speed of.
I've only got little legs. I mean, Bruno, you did say was strength 18 something, right?
We don't talk about Bruno.
I'd like to talk to Bruno about, the chance for the chance for like a piggyback ride or something.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're like, look, I'm not asking you to carry my gear. I'm asking you to carry me.
Yeah.
Where's your
donkey? I know you can't carry it for me, but you can carry me.
No. There you go.
It's teamwork.
Yeah, I mean, Thumb has probably some capacity. Basically, I'm sure you can spread out. What do you need to spread out? I don't actually know who has strength other than Bruno.
How strong is Jones? Because currently it's what
12.
Oh, it's not too
I
bad.
can carry a bit more.
The point is, you're capped to 6, so if people are moving at 6, it's okay. Jamie is playing a priest of Thor or something, is he? He's playing a priest of Freya. Priest of Freya. That's it.
Are we definitely going up into the mountains, or is there an option to fight goblins not in mountains? Because if we're not going into mountains, it might be worth buying like a donkey or something before we go.
You can go into the woods nearby, as in near the loggers. It's either mountain or woods.
Because that does let us haul more loot as well if we have a donkey or something. A donkey or a
space donkey.
Well, we're not in space, so it'll just be a normal donkey.
It's a giant miniature space donkey.
Like normally, normally they're tiny donkeys, but this one's a giant one.
Yeah.
It's because Spelljammer, it's a ponky.
Yeah.
It's actually
it looks the same, but everyone calls it a ponky for some reason.
It's just different, slightly.
I mean,
you get a druid to speak with animals, and the donkey's like, "No, literally, we're just donkeys. We don't know what's going on here."
They think it's some kind of slur or something.
yeah, they're like, literally, this is really offensive to our people.
Is there like a donkey available for purchase?
I think there's there's stables. There should be.
Yeah,
Can you rent one?
I mean, they cost 8 gold.
Yeah, you're not going to rent. No one's being like, yes, you can rent my donkey to go into the.
Rent it.
Yeah, you could. That's like
don't worry.
The worst bet ever.
I'd like to add on. We'll add on the insurance option. Okay, we'll.
Yeah, you rent it for 1 and then insure it for 7. Yes, pay 8 and you can get a donkey. I'm sure that'll be fine.
I will add that to our notes.
Okay, but when we leave, we better be able to sell this donkey back for at least 6.
Or we could just take the donkey with us and then sell it on a planet that doesn't have donkeys for a profit.
What are we doing with the donkey on Brawl? They don't need donkeys on Brawl.
Maybe not on Brawl, but we'll find somewhere that doesn't have donkeys, and we'll sell it for a profit.
Doubtful.
In fact, so the livery stable in Writers itself sells mules. So yeah, you can get a mule, which I think actually is the same as donkey stat-wise. I think the entry's like a mule, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the money and equipment section says donkey, mule, or ass 8 GP, so I assume they'll all be the same.
Yeah.
And I guess like slightly more for like saddlebags or something.
Yeah. Well, you do that as in you record that. You're in charge of the purse.
Yeah.
And so.
There we go. Okay, and then we will head off. We'll probably not very comfortable, but at least fast enough to keep up with the party, not slowing everyone down.
Yep. Great.
We can just tie you to the back of the mule now, and you can just get
I can just sit on it. I can just sit. I am perfectly capable of sitting on a donkey.
Can we create a sledge that we then lash Wilsp, sorry. Yeah, great. Okay, so you'll be heading. Yeah, you should head onto the road.
Ooh, music.
Yeah. think this is good. I remember this. Might be. Find out. There's for.
It's very exotic birds for a fairly Norse-themed planet.
Yeah. Let's try. Let's try Forest Day. That was Dinotopia.
Oh yeah, that's much better.
I just play Skyrim music and claim it's not copyrighted.
I mean,
yeah, great.
You won't get sued for Skyrim music. If you went for like
you just get
Zelda music, you'd get sued.
Yeah, you just get demonetized. Which doesn't matter. The amount of money on security stuff is, yeah, they can have my 5 pence, my 10 pence. Yeah, great. Okay, so you will start heading south, and the official count table is, I think it's checked twice during the day, 3 times at night, but you're planning to be inside at night, aren't you? So that is the plan. I think it's D6 checks. So, Andrew, roll a D6 if you've worked out your Morse code internet yet.
I think so. It's a 4.
So it's in the internet a 4, or?
Yeah.
I have 4 internet.
Yeah, out of a maximum of literally into the millions. It's a gigabyte scale, right? 4 bits. And beach. D6. Yeah, great. So yeah, you'll, I guess, have a quiet journey. You'll probably see some loggers coming to and fro. There might be some people coming back at some point, but you meet no large parties of anything. Nothing unusual that would bear thinking about. Not even patrols, other than the things. It's a fairly comfortable, if full day journey. If you're managing to go at speed 6, which I guess you're going possibly slightly faster. Who knows? And yeah, you'll arrive at the logging camp. I don't know if there's anything particularly important to add to the logging camp. It's less civilized, obviously, than Writers. Writers itself is somewhat frontier, but also has farms around it. It's got the fishermen. It has families. Whereas there's no families here. This is much more frontier oriented than. Hello, Simon.
Good evening.
Yes, than Writers. And yeah, this is just it's tents other than a couple of wooden buildings of the Bralian Shipwrights Guild. Essentially your assaying offices and stuff, and you've got like a transport lager as well. You're just welcome to camp here. You're allowed to camp here. You'll be coming towards evening when you arrive. Obviously, there's a 26. I think it's a 26-hour day or something, but the day-night cycle is pretty even throughout the year. There's no kind of tilt, so it's just pretty even seasons. You're just at the end of the stormy season, thereabouts. Simon is playing Thumb, the elf fighter, and the secondary meat shield of this party after the higher level NPC that you've got to go. This is a glass cannon party. This is like a thief illusionist, a thief, and a conjurer. Because the ranger and the priest are not here, so it's basically Bruno and then Thumb. Yes, Simon, the party decided to head to the mountains or the woods, to one or the other, to go and kill goblins and make some money.
Okay, somebody's paying us for this, right? We have a contract.
Yeah, so this is a 5 per goblin head plus full treasure, like 100% treasure kept. And Zethra and Jackson and the Chatter are being left back in Writers in the town. Jackson not because he's ill or anything, just because I think it's too dangerous to take your ship's engine with you on a mission. Cool. So yes, you'll probably, I mean, your adventurers, you'll be recognised as mercenaries. You don't look like lumberjacks. You don't look like you sleep all night, all day, all night, and you work all day. You look like hard-bitten, grizzled warriors, and then there's Wilsp as well. And so, yeah, probably a lumberjack, or in fact, probably one of the kind of camp superintendents, or whatever, will kind of flag you down and just say, check that you're obviously mercenaries, you're here for the job, that sort of thing. Yeah. So yes, I think, and we'll probably answer any questions you have about it.
Where are they?
Where are they? So they are. There are goblins in both the mountains and the forests, and the big noticeable thing is there's always been some goblins here, but a couple of things have been noticeable more recently. One, that they've been joined by a newer, taller red type of goblin who probably identify. There's several of your elves, hobgoblins, and also that they've got better weapons than they used to have. Essentially, they used to be very much like they would have been as likely to avoid the lumberjacks as anything. So, whereas now they're more aggressive. In the woods, you've got ambush goblins, basically, kind of tricksy woodland goblins. There are some elves typically in the woods, and then wolves up in the mountains. And you'll sometimes see loggers, but the loggers tend to be staying close to the camp. They're not like disappearing miles inland to find new trees. They just are logging outward, like clear felling areas that have good wood, which apparently the elves are ambivalent about, to say the least. And then up in the mountains, you've got prospectors, who are much more kind of risk takers, but therefore get killed more. There's goblins, and he'll say there's harpies up there as well, and wolves. So yeah. So slightly different environment, slightly different biomes of stuff.
How organised do the goblins tend to be? Is it big raids that seem, well organised, well managed, or is it just?
No, it still tends to be. I mean, because his thing is like even 20 goblins which is very dangerous and will kill some prospectors. It's not an army. Like these tribes are not, in terms of the warriors they send out, they're not sending out armies. But what essentially the difference is, where before you might occasionally skirmish with them, now they are much more likely to strike at isolated humans and demi-humans, are more kind of aggressive and better led, as he says. Sometimes they've seen these hobgoblins. They have weapons that aren't stone, like stone axes or whatever.
Right.
Like they're being, and I think the assumption is that the Spiralian Scrow are arming them. Yeah, welcome to Vietnam. Yeah.
Is it Vietnam or is it Afghanistan?
Yeah.
If it's a proxy war.
We can't let these Scrow infiltrate this world. We're going to have to wipe these goblins out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jones is like, maybe.
No, we're gonna free Shipwrecker, and then all those people in the Elven Navy, they'll see that I can actually get things done.
Can we orbitally bombard the mountains? We have a baluster somewhere, right?
I mean,
yeah.
If you have some bombs that you've not been telling us about,
it can be done. We just need a ship and armaments.
We have a ship, don't we?
We have a ship. We just don't have armaments. Like, I don't think flying around with the ballista is going to work.
I still have Greek fire on me.
You have a small. You're in napalm the forests full of elves, and
we have the forest down.
Yeah, there's no forest. There'd be no goblins.
Yeah.
You would need like tons, literally tons of Greek fire if you want to actually.
And
Yes, I
also,
probably have enough to singe a small tree.
I suspect that setting a forest on fire will not count as killing goblins for the sake of a bounty.
Well, we would go
I
to
mean,
the forest
technically meet the
afterward
requirements.
and collect their heads
Hmm.
from
Yeah.
the corpses afterwards.
I mean, the AC 130 gunship idea is plausible, but I think it's just possibly, it's maybe as a gunship rather than as a platform
We don't
for
have
napalm.
funds to make this work.
Do any of our characters know like current military strategy involving,
Some does.
Yeah,
Some is not artillerist.
Oh,
Sorry,
And I was trained in the Elven Navy. That was what I was going to be doing, was flying ships for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to be super relevant here, though, for me. I am a trained ballisterist, but that was... I always fired the baluster at other ships.
Isn't that Gurney Halleck?
Exactly, I guess.
Yeah. I was going to say, Thumb is a military professional, so but I don't know, I don't know if small unit tactics in forest is his thing.
No, he's got heraldry, navigation in space, and zero-G combat. So he's more of a marine than a...
I guess we should figure out what else do we need to know. We know that they're basically skirmishers attacking even smaller groups.
Yeah.
I guess. Do they have any rough idea where bases tend to be, where people are more or less likely to be attacked? Do they attack more at night? Do they?
I mean, in the mountains is sort of wherever. Certainly, in the woods, it's more likely to be in the day because loggers try to get back by night. Certainly, he can point you towards some likely areas in terms of recent raids in the forests. That'd be fine. They just happen to have you here, obviously.
And I guess. Did he mention, or has he heard anything of them using animals, things like wolves or wargs, or is it just goblins and hobgoblins?
They're wolves. They're wolves present in the woods. So.
But separate
and the
from
mountains. So yeah.
But
so that I know, as in wolves are known to associate sometimes, usually, sometimes as mounts, sometimes as guards.
right.
As in on their when they've stumbled onto their layers, there are occasionally wolves, tamed wolves there.
Yeah. I don't know if that changes our plan or anything, but it's good to know. We should write some of these things down. Because these things sound important to remember. Let's go. Led by hobgoblins. That's definitely an important note. Opportunistic attacks. Attacking loggers. Is it mostly the loggers and the prospectors, or have the elves been attacked as well? Does he not know much about what's going on with the elves?
No, they're not necessarily on very close terms with the elves.
I mean, we have 1.5 elves with us right now.
Yeah.
I
I was going to say. Yeah.
Might as well
You technically have no. Yeah.
see if we can meet with the elves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone else has any other ideas, any other questions.
None
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Either we get information from the elves, or we try to lure the goblins out somehow, but get them to attack us.
Yeah.
But that's risky.
I think they're probably going to avoid us unless they're a large party, given we're probably the most obviously competent group they'll have seen.
Yeah, that's we'd have to disguise ourselves and maybe have someone act as a decoy with the...
Oh, yeah. I guess if you have, one person on their own looking like a lumberjack lumbering through the forest, whilst everyone else is... Yeah, 30
The
feet
problem
back.
is that it's that's risky because if it goes wrong, someone dies. So
the plan works, and the goblins shoot the decoy with 12 arrows, and they die instantly.
Yeah,
not it.
I'd rather be on offense and have us assaulting them than test their ambush abilities.
Yeah, I think starting with information gathering and perhaps hope for just a chance encounter, like maybe we just bump into some in the forest, but perhaps just go see if we can talk to these elves or these loggers, see if we can, see what we can find. I think sounds like a good place to start.
Yeah.
I think that is a shrewd approach. I am very opposed to a fair fight.
Yes, definitely.
That's why you need to napalm them.
I am a thief illusionist. I do not know the meaning of a fair fight.
Yeah.
That's a point. I was thinking, what's a good counter strategy to wolves? I remember I'm an illusionist, so I'm sure I can think of an illusion of something that will
disguise yourself as bacon.
Scale.
Sleep is a good counter to wolves. Rufus is a good counter.
What is Rufus?
Rufus is my best good boy.
Oh, your dog.
Yeah. You have a doggo, yeah.
Right. Now that you've named it, you are aware terrible things are going to happen.
Yeah. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
Rex.
I know. I just hope that he does well. Makes a name for himself first.
For the same reason, I am going to name my mule. My mule is going to be named Archibald. He's going to carry my burdens. He's going to die so quickly. I'm sure.
And be left behind as bait to keep the enemy from chasing you.
Yeah.
The one thing is, if Wilsp was like, I don't have to run fastest, I just need to run faster than Archibald, and then he's like, oh no, Archibald's quicker.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Great. So yes, you're welcome to camp for the night. You'll need to feed yourself, but it is a safe place, so you don't need to roll encounters in the logging camp.
Yeah. Oh, did Tom need rations?
Yeah, does Tom need rations?
I think I have some on me. Yeah, I've got three rations.
Yeah, I imagine you'd have wanted to buy rations before you left then.
Yeah, okay.
So I will add that to what we have bought.
Okay.
A week of rations for you.
Yep, that'd be useful.
Yeah, we'll eat some rations.
Yeah, remember it's 3 per week, so...
Yeah.
Yep.
I need to actually take...
I will do what I can to turn whatever supplies are around into a decent meal for not just us, but the loggers too. Maybe we can make them like us a lot.
A bit of stone stew.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Stone soup? You know what I mean.
Yeah. So yeah. Just what do you?
Let me see if this cooking proficiency is 100% fluff, or if there's anything to it.
It's somehow even more useless than cheese making.
Somehow, yeah. Cheese making comes up very often, but cooking is never useful.
Yeah. I feel like there's some benefit to cooking.
Have you heard of that?
Partly it means you don't get poison from kebabs. It's a significant advantage.
Have you heard of that anime, Delicious in Dungeon? It's basically about like a D&D party that just goes around cooking monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Is it on Netflix? Because that does actually sound familiar.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's Dungeon Meshi is the Japanese name.
Well, I looked it up, and it is entirely fluff. Here's all of the information about this NWP. All characters have rudimentary cooking skills. If you have this proficiency, you're an accomplished cook, so you can make a check. That check is only required when attempting to prepare a truly magnificent meal worthy of a master chef. And that's it. No mechanics tied to it, just like, that's it.
That
Yeah,
sounds like
there
a
might
good
be something-
WP to me.
There might be something somewhere else, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I think essentially, yes. I'd say cooking, probably like herbalism, you'd allow it to be like, oh, okay, you can prepare complicated meals or like potentially dangerous foods safely. Things
Could
like
you
that.
cook a stew which would be attractive in its smell to goblins as a lure? What we need to do
Goblins are attracted
is,
with like any smell, right? Like,
yeah, we need a big boiling pot in sort of like the middle of the area where we're going to set an ambush for them.
I'm just thinking that if you cook people good meals, they like you more.
Could we poison the goblins? Could we just set up a load of big pots full of cooking broth for them, which are actually just full of whatever poisons goblins? I don't know what goblins are particularly susceptible to.
Arsenic.
Arsenic, yeah. Can we just give them all arsenic poisoning? I mean, it's slow, so it'll take many months.
We'll find their well and we'll poison their well.
Yeah.
And then sneak into their camp every day and find their dead and turn the dead in for bounties.
So
This plan does presuppose we've found their camp, though. So why don't we maybe try that first?
and that we have access to arsenic. I feel like that's the bigger.
Yeah, we need
Well,
industrial
goblins can't be
quantities of
that
arsenic.
good at covering their tracks. So all we need to do is set up a raid, and then follow them back after they've raided the people that we watch them raid.
I mean, we don't have our ranger with us at the moment.
Yeah, but like, they're goblins.
They're probably really easy to kill. Just walk into the forest screaming.
I mean, they're probably really easy to track, because, like, I don't know, they're,
Yeah,
they're not
but
smart, are
They
they?
might be easy to track,
Look at that guy.
but without the tracking proficiency, and without being a ranger, tracking is so hard.
Yeah, we have none of the correct skills for this mission.
Well, you've been told roughly where they think they are, so you can to some degree.
Yeah.
Just walk around and have to be ambushed and or find.
Step is let's try and meet these elves because they might have all the
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think go to either the loggers or the elves, whoever's closest. Talk to them for a bit.
Well, you're at the logging camp, aren't you?
Oh,
So technically they're the
right.
place. You're talking to the superintendent. Remember?
Sorry,
yeah.
I
Or
thought.
one.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess go find the elves. See if we get attacked on the way. If not, talk to the elves. You know, maybe find more people willing to fight goblins with us, or sell us poison, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel before we discuss the poison plan any further, what's this party's average alignment? I suspect it tends towards chaotic neutral.
What is my alignment? I've forgotten.
You're
I'm
lawful
lawful good.
good.
Yeah, I'm lawful
Yeah.
good.
You were the one
Yeah.
who brought up poison.
Yeah, I mean...
That's
I-
not.
Yeah, I need
Look,
to
there is
open each
nothing-
session by checking my
There's
alignment.
nothing evil about, sort of
Yeah,
poisoning
goblins! Arsenic poisoning goblins is perfectly reasonable.
Tradition.
I
Yeah.
mean, I agree from a perspective of my chaotic character.
Alright, I mean, what are we going to do? Make friends with the goblins and kindly ask them to stop murdering the locals?
No, but you just turn up and you stab them and you do things
What,
properly.
challenge them each to an individual duel?
No, you just
This
We
is
could
honourable.
we
walk
could
into
have
the
turned
woods
up
with a
and
glove.
stabbed them to just honourable duel. Like, you don't need to be stupid about it, but that doesn't mean you can poison them.
We could.
Oh, Daniel, re-NWPs. There's a weird thing where we've talked about this before. I don't know if put it on channel, but it's the only part of 2E AD&D which really is if you're not using the point buy stuff from player option. If you're ignoring that, if you're using basic stuff, don't use that stuff. But it's the only build culture thing, and that's basically because if you can get like a fluff NWP for free with your kit, great, that could be useful because you could end up being like, oh yeah, can I use my cooking to, as I say, like cook a complex meal safely, or to like improvise some ingredients? That'd be stuff that'd be fine. But you don't really want to spend real slots on it because, or cobbling or cheese making, comparatively, because they are like low value. Whereas tracking, that's good. Herbalism, that's good. There are ones that are just outright more likely to be. Whereas that's not really the case, I think, with lots of other stuff. But I think with NWPs, there's like a ranking basically of there's the ones that are really game active and have direct mechanics for specific things, and there are the ones which, maybe to put it generously, like, and I'm fine with this as a DM, but require players to be like, okay, I'm going to use this properly. I'm going to think of times this is relevant, rather than, it's purely heraldry. For instance, I should say heraldry is actually important. Etiquette and heraldry are not bad ones, depending on where you are.
Yeah. I mean, if we were actually piloting ships around fighting space battles, mine would be quite useful.
Yeah. Exactly. Etiquette, similarly, which was used actually in our game last night that Beach played in our Hungry Earth game, which most of you play in. But yeah, basically, yes. It depends on the thing, and I think if a player takes it and is willing to be like with first edition secondary skills, I mean, second edition has secondary skills too. If a secondary skill is allowed to be useful, virtually every really grognardy DM is like, yes. If a forester says, "Do I know how to kind of cut a tree safely to create deadfalls?" The answer is yes, right? So similarly, I think it's the same with NWPs that seem fluffy. Is the DM should be open to being, the player being like, "Can I work out a good way to do this with my NWP?"
Is this your way of breaking it to me that Sabra's dancing NWP is never going to be useful?
Well, I think it could be useful in, one, to know about dancing, but two, if you're at a courtly function or at a kind of, I don't know, village fete or something, as a social thing that kind of is you clicking the dialogue option on the screen to kind of like socialize with the villagers.
Our Sunday group definitely finds themselves in that courtly situation all the time.
Yeah, I was going to say you scrupulously avoid it actually. Though I guess you got some people about to go to Neverwinter to try to tell the kind of some of the big bods they have to go and rescue a bunch of people in the swamps. So I guess that you may have to test some of those skills more. But yeah, great.
If we know where the goblins are, then surely we just charge.
Jones, expert fighter, chips in.
I mean, that's what you people are for, with weapons and things.
What do you mean, you people?
Aren't you the ones with
reverse doctors?
Reverse doctors.
The people who doctors practice upon.
No, those are subjects.
Dr. Jones, what are those limbs you have there? The four limbs, you might describe them as.
Surgical tools, yes.
And what applications outside of surgery have you found for them?
Eating food.
That...
Picking locks. Delicate clockwork. I use them
Could
to
you perform surgery on, say, a goblin and then just not suture them back up at the end?
Oh, definitely, but that's just wasteful. And,
Well,
it still doesn't mean that I'm going to be on the front lines. Again, that's what you people are for.
I don't know. We don't have much of a front line. We have like a front one person.
We got two people. We hired Bruno.
That's what he's for. Very good.
And then I'm not a terrible second line. I'm at AC 2 with armor.
What?
Well, I've got 18 dex, so that's -4 defense, and then armor puts me to 6 and puts me to 2. So, I mean, I have 4 hit points, so if I do get hit, I'll splatter very quickly.
We all have shit hit points, right?
Yeah.
You have a whole 4 hit points?
Well, we don't want to get into a fight with the goblins. We're all dying. So,
Bill's like, you have hit points.
What's our actual plan of action? It's to go and talk to some of the locals and then recruit lots of people.
Go for we'll talk to the elves.
Because they might have inside knowledge of, like...
Yeah.
Okay.
They might have druids or something that,
and consult the
can
elves.
tell the disturbances in the woods.
Yeah.
We shall go talk to the elves.
Yep.
And then maybe
okay,
we'll get attacked by goblins on the way, and that'll solve all of your problems.
So 1, dock rations.
Yeah.
I don't mean Doc Jones rations, I mean dock rations. And 2, I guess are you going to, in terms of the forest, I guess you're just going to go as deep as it takes to get to where the elves are rumored to be, like a couple of days away.
Yes, we're good to go through the woods, and we're not going to be ambushed by the goblins on the way there.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Well,
what's going to happen.
I mean, it's
We're
not
going to not
terrible
roll
if
a
we
single one.
Counter checks are a good thing.
Yeah, I know. We're just not going to roll any. This could be fine.
Yeah.
I know you're trying to jinx it because you want it to happen, but
No, I don't.
you've
I'm being optimistic. I'm being optimistic.
You've double bluffed yourself.
You jinxed.
Because no, because I think that you're saying that because you want encounters to happen, but I think now that you said that,
No, I don't.
encounters aren't going to happen.
If we have an encounter, we're all going to die.
We're not all going to die.
Well, I'm going to run away, and then you're going to die.
Bruno isn't going to die.
This is back to the bullet.
Anyway, let's go into the woods and
Let's go into the woods, and we're not running away unless we're all decided together that we're running away.
Triple bluffed it.
Yeah. Alex is having a scarring memory, which most of you shared, of a party going to randomly run away, while Jay's ranger stayed behind and nearly beat a bull out on his own, while the rest of you played.
We're good at the game now, guys.
And die. Yeah.
We're allowed to act like it.
Yeah, but if I run away, I might survive.
Yeah.
But it's the prisoner's dilemma. If we all run away, none of us survive.
Well,
Yeah, we do.
One person
The
survives.
one who runs the fastest does.
yeah, if we
Yeah.
scatter,
But
there's a certain direction.
if none of us run away, then most of us survive.
Unless the thing is really strong.
Or we just
Unless the
surrender
thing is really
immediately.
strong. I mean, it's more complex game theory, but it's almost
We're
like
going
it's
to the
a
elves.
complex game. Yeah, we're going to the elves. That's the important thing.
The elves, Master Frodo.
And when we get there, we start yelling into the forest, "Oh, elves! Hello!
You will.
Hey, you!
What have you got prepared, spells-wise?
Sleep?
You're just a mage, aren't you? Yes.
Conjurer.
I don't
Did you
like
have
the way
You're
armor?
Conjurer. What's your second one? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the way you said that. I'm just a mage.
I remember there was a mage, but I couldn't remember who was the mage.
I got sleep and armor.
You're not the
Right,
mage.
so I got sleep. It's the only spell I know, and armor is my bonus spell.
Do you think it's worth armor? Or do you think like a
No,
detect magic
I
is?
have to prepare like
Bonus spell.
bonus
That's
spell. Yeah, conjuration spell. and
That's
armor.
that's your only conjuration spell, right? Yeah, I think we've had this exact discussion before, haven't we?
Yeah,
You need to learn some spells.
Yeah.
Almost certainly.
I mean,
yeah. We need some spell books, and we need a level 2.
Do you wanna learn Phantasmal Force? Can you learn Illusion?
I can do illusions, I think.
Sleep's
Um,
what's sleep? Is sleep illusion? No, sleep's charm.
Yeah, my oppositions are invocation, evocation, and greater divination.
Mine are invocation, abjuration, necromancy.
So yeah, I'm good with illusion-y spells.
Yeah, if you want to try learning Phantasmal Force, and then I might try and learn sleep, so I have.
Yeah, well, that costs we need money, right?
Oh,
So-
we do need money. It's not just roll chance. You do need. Is it a lot to try and learn?
I don't think so. Like, as in, I think it is. It is. It's like, there's some gold. It is some gold. It's not like a gold. It's like.
I'm gonna add that to my notes for something we can worry about when we get back to town.
Obviously, if you're training with someone, it's just rolled into the training cost. The stuff that or if they're giving you access to their spell books and they're a powerful wizard, they'll usually, like Mer's Crail, they'll usually be like, yeah, feel free to check. Use my ink. Great. So, you're heading southeast into the forest. It is. I mean, the forest, I think, is only like. I think I just. Isn't it? It's only like 8 miles deep or something. at that point before it starts to peter out into moorland and light scrub and stuff. But it's heavy enough to hide some goblins. In the end, it ends up being like 100 square miles or something for the forest. So medium forest is third rate. So what is the slowest rate in the party? You're on a mule, I guess.
Yeah, I'm a
Probably
what is the speed
now.
of a mule?
Yeah.
I'm
What's
still
you're 12. What's a Xixchil, and is Thumb weighed down by anything?
No, Thumb's fine. He's unencumbered, basically.
Base speed and not weighed down for me, no.
What's your base speed? 12 or 15
12.
or okay. Yeah, great.
Unspecified,
That-
so standard 12, I'm assuming.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it'll say in CGR1, like it'll have a list there, but 12 is a good guess. And you're not a particularly unusual, in terms of size. It's the most relevant thing. So you're going to be going, if you're going 12, that actually means you're functionally going 4, so 8 miles a day, 8 miles in 10. So yeah, you can make most of the way towards there in terms of looking where you need to go, and you'll be given a rough map, and it's going to be a couple of checks during the day and 3 at night. So the jumpers are going to be camping once. So I guess we start rolling. Simon, want to roll a d6?
All right.
It's going to be your
Bam. 2.
let's. Okay, so that is hot because it's basically 1 every 4 miles. I think.
Mule is 12, so we're not slowed down. Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The assumption is that you're all going at a rate of 12, but it takes 3 movement points essentially to travel in medium forest. So you're going down to 4. And Alex, next chat.
Yes. Computer's running slow again.
Yeah, it's all those unnecessary kind of CAD designs you've got of kind of robots.
It's probably the little animated waifu I've got on my taskbar.
Yeah, it's time to ban Alex from the internet.
So you can tell that's only a joke, because if it wasn't a joke, I'd have named the waifu.
Yeah.
But since I just said waifu, you can tell it's a joke.
Yeah, that's how you can tell it's a joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is like the person who's like, I don't know how to live in this economy. Like my rent's $500, my food is $300, and in this case it's like, oh, I don't know how to run a computer. Like my system is 10% and my Chrome is 10% and my waifu is 110% somewhere. I'm starving. Yeah. Have you rolled, Alex?
I have.
Yes,
I rolled a 5.
Yeah. It didn't signal. Yeah, so you're coming somewhere near to the area, and it's been a rifle day. You can see you can see moorland occasionally as you go up the higher ground. You can see moorland off to the northeast and the southeast, and in fact, generally, you can start to see that the terrain changes from this particular patch of valuable wood. The wood here is, because it's perfect for shipping, for shipbuilding. It's not actually it's not being raised to the ground to graze cattle. It's felled quite carefully, quite selectively, and hasn't necessarily kind of had enormous amounts taken over the years. It's increasing slightly with the Second Unhuman War, but the reason you're like, oh yeah, it's only a few hundred square miles total on this area of a fairly small planet, and there are some other areas too. But the main point is that actually they're not going to need to take that much to get the kind of stuff they want. These big, heavy, old growth, big trees. Okay, so you're camping, dock food, and then we've got 3 checks starting from Andrew. This will be D6.
I imagine Wilsp struggles to put up his tent for
1.
the first time.
There we are. We've got it. It's happening. Simon, prepare to quit the game in a rage.
How many goblins?
Goblins
30
turn
goblins
up.
stream out the wood, whooping and howling at you. You are surprised.
Yeah. Do we get to roll for surprise? Nope. You said they're whooping and howling. Yeah, you're really surprised. That's a D8.
So it rolls 20 bow attacks.
Yeah. No, we're using first edition dart surprise
Sweet.
per goblin.
Yeah.
Anyone look that up for a case of Gary intentionally making a rule that annoys you and knowing he's done it? He's like, this footnote's like, it really does mean this. Oh. So, that's I see. Go. Yeah, Andrew, roll a d10.
9.
Yeah. Vil and Thumb recognise the local equivalent here in an intensely nerdy voice of my Gavanan. The smell saying hello. Yeah. Calling from beyond the fireplace.
I wave. Good day, sir. I don't know off the top of my head.
You just got to learn like one Elvish phrase and pretend to be like a Tolkien nerd. Good one is Aule Entelufa, day will come again.
Is it on Duolingo?
Yeah. Oh, I bet it is. Yeah.
It will be, yeah.
Duolingo, of course, is actually Mordor, so it's probably first of them.
And in the darkness find them.
Yes, you will probably stepping forward. Like you're not surprised, and probably you heard just before they spoke. You probably heard, something. At least the elves will have heard something out in the trees. But a party of 9 elves, Sylvan elves, wood elves, head into the firelights. 3 elf hunting. And they sit and they kind of just choose to sit. They don't wait for permission, though. You can see that their bows are all still basically knocked. They look like they're kind of all put their bows down, but they're actually all knocked. And the leader's sword is still out. But yeah, probably they'll inquire and ask. They observe. You don't seem to be loggers or goblins or wolves.
With a fourth kind of thing that comes to these woods. Mercenaries.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that they will. They've assessed. You've got elves with you. They were willing to approach, and they, probably say that sometimes, depending on how dangerous they think, whether it's human or goblin, they'll sometimes shoot on sight. But in your case, you've got elves with you, so presumably you're not here to destroy the old woods. So they'll ask, you're mercenaries. What are you here for?
Goblins and possibly wolves. Mostly goblins.
And bears, oh my. Yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah. They'll say that there are they know of a few groups of goblins more or less in this stretch of this half of the woodland or whatever. They know one main group of goblins in this stretch of the wood, which is up toward the north, in the kind of north centre. They keep this kind of southern part. There's not actually an enormous elven settlement here. There are literally a couple of dozen elves, and the idea of potentially facing many dozens of goblins and attempting to purge them is not particularly attractive to these elves. So they have not done it. They kind of just keep their area clear, and they don't really attack the walls. They attack like occasionally wargs, like big kind of savage diary wolf kind of things knock around. Yeah, they also know of some up in the mountains, but they don't really go in the mountains. The ones in the mountains have mines. The ones here don't need like mines or anything because they can just live under the trees and avoid the sunlight that way.
Is that perhaps where these metal weapons are coming from that they seem to be equipped with?
They say they don't know if it's them or if it's the red goblins who are helping them. No, so there's red goblins. They've occasionally even caught a kind of like they use some sort of slightly insulting sounding epithet, which is probably as close to fur goblin as possible. But again, the elves would understand was bugbear. They occasionally see it, but they don't seem to be. This big northern band doesn't seem to have any real contingent of bugbears. They've not regularly met them in skirmishes. Yeah, hobgoblins, goblins, and these guys didn't used to be here. The hobgoblins and bugbears. So that's the other possibility. Maybe they're bringing weapons in. It could be both. Logically, they don't know what is being mined for in the hills. Really,
might be something worth looking into, but I think it kind of sounds like fighting goblins in the forest will be easier than fighting goblins in the mountains. Like completely ignoring the traversing mountains thing.
Yeah, harder terrain. Yeah.
Mm.
Forest is high. Normally, is actually quite high encounter terrain, which is the downside. This mountain's less inhabited, but it's a bit of a Comsar, I think. Well, yeah, what the mountains give you, they also definitely take away from you. The elves' personal opinion is the mountains are more dangerous, but they grant that this is because they are the dangerous thing in the woods, as far as they're concerned.
Naturally.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess they'll probably say to Thumb, like, if you're do you have a plan for what you're going to do? What you want to do with these goblins? We would aid you if there's a plan. I think these guys probably actually look at Vil somewhat askance.
Do we have a plan to abandon the idea of poisoning them all with arsenic, haven't we?
Yeah, Thumb says, we were thinking about poisoning all the forest wildlife. What do you think, Sylvan Elves? I'm a hire, and do not understand why you live in such a dump.
I mean, I think our base plan at this point was just scouting, right? Figure out what's going on and then come up with a better plan. So
our plan was to tactically outmaneuver them and then hit them with a surprise attack and win and not die. It's a good plan.
That's a plan.
It's a great plan.
I mean, it might be a great plan. We should, scout and stuff first.
Yeah.
Information.
Yeah. And these guys are lightly armed, but are certainly happy. I mean, as in, I think we'll check their reaction. They're willing to talk to you, and they're willing to kind of consider that you might be competent because of the elves, or rather because of Thumb, I guess. Yeah, I mean, they'd be. Does Thumb have any extra? I don't think he does any extra charisma. You're getting an adjustment anyway, but does he have any extra charisma bonus?
No, he's got a charisma of 4. No, he's got a reaction bonus of +2. He's got a charisma of 14.
Yeah, so that's good. As in that would take it to a 5 anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
As in a function. Yeah, great. No, they like Thumb, as in they probably recognise Thumb comes across like a soldier. They're positive about the Imperial Elven Navy. They do say that not every woodland on a planet in spiral space is inhabited by elves friendly to outsiders. They're a Grugach on some of the worlds, and they're a great deal more isolationist. But these guys are basically like, we just want to hunt deer and like tend to the old woods and not be harassed by people. But there's all these people harassing us. So these are a bit more friendly. But they will warn you about some of the other places in case you don't know. But I don't. Yeah. Where do they say? There's 2 places I'm thinking of. I'm thinking if they're both socialist or not. Minial in the green belt is Gruga, who basically are theoretic kills people terms with Imperial Elven fleet, but aren't really. And Numelador is a Imperial Elven Navy outpost technically, but is not. That's in the blue belt. Is not terribly welcoming to non-elves. So I'll put it drop onto the brawl space in case you want to make Minial and Numelador. Basically, the main surviving elven colony worlds are one. I think Numelador is a refugee planet, New Old Land, and Minial's Arch is Grugach, is wild elves who are profoundly unwelcoming to. So yeah, they'll say, "Look, you've lucked out in terms of the elves, more or less, that you've met. We're not the types who shoot all outsiders on sight."
We're very grateful for it.
Yeah. They're also they're in a funny position where they're on this stormy planet where a lot of it depends on the sea, but they are in kind of the relatively big patches of lucrative wood, which is nice. Where night was nice before the recent pressures. Basically, the war has brought to the planet by increased logging plus aggressive goblins. So, yeah, they are just less warlike, really. Yeah, they're like thumb. They're happy. Obviously, they're not committing themselves based on the lack of a plan, the lack of a detailed plan. You're not like, oh yes, they wouldn't support napalming. But if you're like, oh, we've got a plan involving napalm, at least they can respond. Right now, they're like, yeah, if you're a scout, we will scout with you.
Yeah, I guess
probably one of our kind will go back to our village and tell everyone else and take some food, and the rest of us will come with you.
The two immediate questions I suppose I have are: do they have any druids or anything who might know more even than we could find out?
Mm-hmm.
And the other question would be: do they know any particularly good tactics? I'm really concerned about wargs, and I'm not sure why. But since they've mentioned, do they have tactics specifically against wargs? Or do they have a fear of fire or something like that?
Wolves generally don't like fire. Anything with wargs, and they also they are very quick, as an elves are very quick and good at hiding. So they just they try to avoid big engagements because they are likely to be outnumbered, and where the goblins have the extra support, a bit more troubling. But, so yeah.
Yeah. Do they have any druids, or do they just?
Yeah, they're kind of I guess leader is an aged druid. So, but they don't know in terms of they know they can lead you roughly to where these guys are. They don't know much else about them. They try not to. They're not very interested in goblins generally. It's only become recently more aggravating. So yeah, depends what you want. As they don't assume their druid leader will know anything necessarily.
I mean, my assumption is that druids are rather good at gathering information in places like woods, given they can talk to animals and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
We really just need to know where these forest camps are and how many goblins.
Yeah, if there's multiple camps, then we might attack one and we just run away and fortify another, and that'd be bad.
We just want to know what their numbers are like and where their hideouts are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to bust out of the underbrush and find 100 goblins.
Yeah. There are 1 million goblins here. Sorry, didn't they tell you? 1 million goblins.
1 million.
Ideally, what we want is a camp with two entrances, like in a ravine or something, and we can trap one of them and try and herd them into the traps.
A napalm trap?
It could be. It could be a napalm trap or an arsenic-based trap.
Yeah.
I mean, we have limited amounts of napalm and no arsenic. So
Yeah.
Also, the arsenic trap takes days to actually affect them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of checking, yeah, I mean they've got a say. It's supposed to be. See, I think they've got like a 4th level druid. And yeah, they do actually have now things are settled coming into the firelight. You'll see a giant lynx as well. Will come and sit down next to Ereth, and want you to give it food.
So jump what?
Giant lynx.
Oh, big cat.
Yeah. Yeah. They have giant lynxes.
How giant?
How big is a giant lynx? It is 4.5 feet long. It is as big as a large dog.
Not quite leopard-sized, but not.
It's a large.
Yeah.
It's. I think it's similar-ish to a leopard, basically.
Yeah,
in terms of actual official length, it's pretty similar.
It'll be
Same
on
as a cheetah.
the small side for a big cat.
Yeah, I think it probably comes across as smaller than that because it has its body is generally speaking more compact. Muscular rather than very rangy. Yeah. No, he likes it here. This cat. Is anyone going to feed the cat?
Yes.
That's
of
the
course
most important question of the session.
No.
Yes. Wilsp will feed the cat, and then Wilsp will use one of his spell slots to conjure an illusion of a red dot and move it around.
Norm says he's come for the story game, but he's staying for the overuse of fire. So I assume he means he wants you to napalm the goblins at this point. Great. So yes, the youngest of the group will go with a slight, with some extra rations in his bag, some extra cuts in kind of the curing bag, and run back to the elf settlement to tell everyone what's happening. And then Ereth, the lynx, and the other 7. Ereth is the only one with a sword, and one other has a spear. They are lightly armed. Bruno, and they're all they're going to be 1st level. The other 7, and he is going to be 2nd level or something. 50% chance of either. Something like that. So of 1st, or 2nd, or 3rd. So we'll check for him. He is a 3rd level fighter. You've lucked out.
Nice.
Yeah. Bad to say, they are lightly armed. They're very dexy, so their AC isn't actually bad. They're lightly armed. Yes, so they are not going to have any trouble in the woods, obviously, but I guess they will want to know what you're doing and what the plan is.
We're going to probably go back to sleep, and then in the morning, I guess follow you to wherever you know the goblins are.
You had said about camps, hadn't you? So in this big tract of camp east of the rivers in Mirror Lake, there is one band of goblins in the north. They believe there's another band of goblins in the kind of western group of woodland nearer Shipwrecker, nearer Writers, the town you've been in, and there's one group of goblins in the mountains. In terms of major groups on this area, this kind of subcontinental area.
One to the north, one in the mountains, and what was the 3rd, sorry?
one to the kind of northish, one to the in the mountains to the southwest, one in the woods to the west of Mirror Lake or north of Mirror Lake. I don't know exactly where. So nearer Writers, nearer the town. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
That's just, the scale is, as you can see, as we've been estimating, is 1 mile per square here.
Right.
So cool. Next morning.
See, right, yeah.
So hey, not all random encounters are bad, Andrew. Beach has just stepped away from voice, so we'll be back shortly.
How dare he have a family?
Yeah. Alex means it. He's really best. So I guess we'll roll through. Next day, we said you can travel. I mean, they're not going to speed you up, and you'll slow them down probably technically, but not by much. You can travel 8, can't you? So if you just get the scale so I can see the squares. But... yeah, you can get to the goblin camp that way, basically. So, yeah, the elves will recommend they basically go ahead and around, and they'll invite Thumb with them, and any halflings in the party, of which there are none, but basically to benefit Melbourne supplies. They will scout around so that the party is less likely to be surprised and is more likely to surprise the enemy. And they suggest that the noisy plainlanders, which they kind of seem to think Jones counts as, but they're skeptical. They will suggest that these guys kind of stay in the middle. So Bruno, the Jamie's priest, Sam Hambat, Dr. Jones, and Wilsp stay in the middle of the group, whilst the elves are 90 yards away in each direction.
Absolutely fine by me.
Okay. Well, I suppose we'd say, Thumb, are you going to scout out with them, or are you going to stay with the main group in the middle?
I will scout out with the elves.
Yes, yeah, you're an elf. They think you're competent. I assume because you're a generic elf, you'll be a high elf technically, rather than a good elf. But...
yes, that's true.
Generic elf.
Okay. Yeah, generic elf. That's what they call him. Jerk elf.
Tesco's
Simon,
own brand elf.
Yeah, it's your D6 check. Too quiet. Okay, so you head further up into the forest. They say that at the river, like one of the rivers that kind of comes out of the mountains, they split. So you can kind of see on the map, you know how there's 2 rivers coming down towards Mirror Lake, and then one kind of comes through some kind of fairly boggy, cleared forest between these 2 logging camps, and then continues north up to coast. You can see that, and then the other goes via Mirror Lake and then splits as it comes out at Writers. So yeah, they say that the second to East River is only a few miles actually away at this point. Where it kind of comes through more open ground, still foresty, but more open ground.
Okay.
I've got that wrong way around. That's a problem. Sorry. In fact, Writers is now, relatively speaking, only a few miles off to the west. But yes, you're still in deep forest here. Simon's rolled. So yeah, it's coming to the end of the day. They're happy, you can technically be active for another few hours. You can't really travel far, without risking exhaustion, per rules we've used before from Wilderness Survival. You can knock around in this area for a few more hours, if you want to scout the goblin camp now, or try to fight, but also you can rest now if you want to try to.
I think rest now before we scout.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah.
Where it's safer, perhaps a little ways.
Yeah. Remember, because you're functionally talking about, though it's not heat-wise an equatorial climate, it is 12 hours each way, so you'd only have 2 hours of sunlight. You could still do stuff for 4 hours afterwards before requiring sleep, but you'd basically be like, you'd probably have, some of you would literally have to stop at that point unless you have using torches. Yeah.
I guess.
Cool. Okay then.
We know they're more they're they're out and about more during the day, so it might be worth us going to sleep early, rising early, and seeing if we can catch them when they leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the elves will say the goblins are active at all hours. It's just that the human, they'll say again some slightly adulting term for humans. The humans are active during the day, can't cope with the night. They'll say this obviously to Wilsp and to to Thumb and to Bill. Pitying the poor, improvisionless humans and Xixchil.
Everyone's a critic until they need their limbs sewing back on.
Yeah, until they need their eyes put back in. New eyes.
I mean, this whole day-night thing is peculiar to me. Like this, home was busy all the time.
I was going to say you're a rock gnome from Iron Piece, aren't you? So comparatively dark world, and
I imagine
obviously full of mines and underground areas. Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine it's very 24-hour industrial.
Yeah. In terms of rock and tinker gnomes being significantly semi-subterranean, at least not.
Yeah.
They're not Sverf Neblin.
Nah.
But they are. Great. Okay. So we've got 3 rolls. Though the elves kind of in their home territory obviated any other checks at that point, we do need checks now. So Simon, assuming Beach is just AFK, Simon, you're going to roll.
5.
Well, not AFK, offer. And Alex, D6. And then Andrew for the last one of the night, because it's 3 at night. So Andrew.
Yay!
Yeah, some pretty good rolls there actually in terms of avoiding any expanded band or anything.
3 5s in a row.
Yeah, quite nice. Yeah, the elves kind of have found you a kind of hidden nook, and they're wary and watch carefully. A few animals come into the camp, but they are friendly to the elves. Forest animals, not like smaller forest animals, rather than wolves and stuff. And probably the lynx is a bit of deterrent to some animals. Great. So they'll say that the goblin tree village, where there are a decent number of goblins there. The goblins, I mean, there are what? There are 8 of you plus a link, 8 elves plus a link, so that's 9, and there are 7 of you, I think. There's 16 of you. They're like, in terms of goblin warriors, they would assume there'd be many more goblin warriors than 16 in and around the tree village. Obviously, they'll say, look, we are better fighters than the goblins, and we are, we elves at least are adept ambush fighters. But probably they'll express again they are up for fighting if there is a plan, because they're not like, oh yeah, let's walk in the front, knock at the front and say hello, let's have a fight, because that's not their style of fighting. They'll say, of course, they'll say to Thumb, who they obviously quite like, they're like, oh, obviously the high elves, with your great, hosts of shining mail and so on, can afford to do such things. But those of us who are experts in the woods live the ways of the wood.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many archers do we have total?
There are. I mean, all of the elves have bows. There are 8 of them. One also has a sword. Eoreth has a sword, and one of them has a spear.
So we've got 8 bowmen. And how many goblins are we dealing with potentially?
We no idea. I think at this point. So I think that's going to be our goal for the next day is figure out, how many.
I think this is supposed to go over your shoulder.
Count goblins.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Like we're definitely expecting.
I can't count above 800.
More of them than us. I mean, we should start coming up with plans, I guess, because like an easy way I think of setting up an ambush would be to kind of the same tactic we'd already vetoed of, someone looking like a helpless logger as bait, but instead of someone, an illusion. So we just have an illusion of a logger, chopping at a tree merrily, buttering his scones and whatever. Wait until some goblins come along to try and shoot him, and then when they do so, we ambush the goblins. And then we could just keep doing this until they get wise to it and then come up with a new plan. Or something. I don't know. Alternatively, we could just set their fort on fire and then shoot them when they try to run. But that seems a bit less smart. I'm sure we got other plans we can come up with though.
Yeah. Yeah. Depends what other people think.
But I think
And the elves' natural system would be, if you can kite them and kill them, great. They don't fight up front.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. That or we sort of shoot one of them in their camp and then run and kite them into a trap. Those would be the kind of things that I think would be a reasonable approach.
Oh, and then I guess there's also that potential use of just, pop-up cover. Like, I could just use Phantasmal Force to make an illusory bush or something, and we'll just sit inside the bush and wait for goblins to come by and shoot them.
That bush is speaking Elvish. You're the big goblin.
Well, yeah. If it works, and clearly it did work.
Yeah.
We don't quite have time to set up the system of tunnels, but if we had a
filled with disgusting traps. Yeah. I was going to say, you've got. You got a gnome, but that's not quite the same.
No. I could, give me a year and I'll build a device to dig a tunnel.
Yeah. You need to take the gnome Professor Bard kit. So you can have demi-bards, you have to take set kits, like for rangers. And the gnome professor is can invent stuff. If you have an idea, you can come up with an idea that might work, but it has a 1% chance of killing the gnome.
That seems remarkably reliable.
Bloody Steve Johnson, the gnome.
Oh, as in, I think there is Andrew, there is a failure chance. It's a thief skill, basically. So it's you might have an engineering of 20%. I think it's your find remove traps equivalent. You just use the same stat as find remove traps for the professor.
That makes sense.
Something like that. So it's an engineering percentage. So you might have a 20% success. That means you have a 79% fail, which is fine. That's very good. And the DM can change that percentage. If you're I want to create nuclear rockets, then the answer is really can't. But essentially, it's if you've got materials and if you've got an idea, you could jimmy something together, but you could just die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that is pretty much gnome creators and inventors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Man, I wonder why there's controversy about gnomes existing.
Yeah. Well, I think. Yeah, that's the stuff on the fringe, isn't it? That's I don't mind that. I've got that in my Greyhawk game, the gnome bard, who has a different kind of a plan thing, which means he can start granting bonuses to actions that are part of a plan, rather than a flat bonus. But because he also has the various engineering skills he has, so it kind of mitigates how good his inspiration is. His inspiration, he's a good character, and he's not an annoying character, but. Definitely can be. I think that's the thing, is any of these things you can imagine being good, but the mean intelligence and reliability of people playing D&D when there were like millions of D&D players in the early 80s. It's probably similar to what it is now, with millions of people playing D&D. So yeah. Any other plans? And then, what is the plan? You've got Talking Bush. Walk up to their door and start firing at it. Lure them out in some other way.
I think, for a start, before any real plan, we should just have someone sneak up and see how many there are. Probably the elves, or possibly myself and Jones.
I mean, traditionally, it is the job of the thieves to do
It
this.
is. Jones,
So
how
maybe
good
you
is
guys should stop being
your...
cowards and go and do this.
How good is your move silently?
No.
Well volunteered.
Literally, I don't have it.
How good... What do you mean you don't have it?
Everybody has a base chance.
I mean, I have a base of 10, and then
Yeah.
-5 for my kit, and -5 for being a Xixchil, which equals 0.
Okay.
I didn't bother putting any points in it because it would still only be like 10% at first level. I wanted to focus on other stats, basically.
Right, my move silently is 55%, which is pretty good for level 1, so I'm willing to risk it.
Yeah.
My first backup plan
You still always get you also remember still get your surprise chance.
Yeah.
So this, I don't know if I think probably everyone who plays these games knows, but it is one of those horrendously misinterpreted rules. It's the assumption that a fail at sneak at move silently means you start screaming or something. It's like no, you might still be actually quite hidden. You're just not expertly hidden. So you still get a surprise chance.
Yeah.
Basically quite.
Yeah.
So then I should say that the two backup plans then are I can, if something does spot me and try and attack me, I can conjure an illusion to hopefully frighten it off whilst I run away. And hopefully the second backup will be everybody else is close enough I can just run back to the party as they provide covering fire, and then we all run away together.
I mean, the elves can support you very hidden from a distance of 90 yards, to say, because that's their surprise range, isn't it? Well, the elves and including Thumb can do that.
But
Bill and Jones can't do that.
The elven surprise.
And
how much better is it? I always forget. It's not like perfect, is it?
No. The point is, it's just an improved normal surprise. It stacks with anything else. It's just that it's the specific thing about it is it has to be separate from, apart from halflings, because halflings are also very small and spry, whereas gnomes are sort of, in that sense, physically actually closer to dwarves. They are a bit more solid and stocky, and on a very small scale, albeit they're not super sneaky, more kind of robust.
But I'm thinking like the rest of the party will be like a quarter mile or something, away from. As like that sounds like way too far. But
a quarter mile is 420 yards or something.
Yeah.
So 42 movement.
That's sound quite far, but only in game terms does it sound far.
Yeah. No, that's on minute rounds. In the woods, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, if you're running for your life from goblins, it would not take you like. I guess this is just, when trying to apply real-life logic to a game. Oh god, I'm going to have that awful time if I'm trying to run for my life. Because I've only got the speed of 6. Well, let's hope I don't fail. And if I do, I'm going to conjure an illusion of, like, a manticore or something. What are the local... I should ask the elves. What are the local big nasty things? Are there manticores?
In the woods, it's wolves. There's not really big beasties in the woods. In the mountains, there's harpies. So, you could go for harpies.
Yeah, harpies, I guess I can conjure a couple of them in the size of the area illusion does.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Elves get -4 to outdoor surprise. Is it? In any situation, either alone or with a party of elves and halflings, and 90 yards away. If you fulfill the conditions outside, that is. When we started, they suffer an additional -4, so that would be 7 in 10 surprise base at the elves. Cool. Okay. I will roll your dice then, Alex. 55, right?
55.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Yeah, I am. I am great. I'm an incredible thief.
Yep.
Nothing could possibly go wrong.
A Fufart. You're a Fufart.
Fufak.
Yeah.
That's Dave Grohl's band.
Yeah. His post-Nirvana project.
Well, one of them.
One of them, yeah.
What hasn't Dave Grohl done these days?
Yeah. He's actually inhabited a small 90-mile wide planetoid in the system of Brawl, in Brawl space. You'll sneak forward, and you're pretty sneaky. For a, I guess you're not a professional thief necessarily, but you're a tricksy tinker type. Yeah. Are you a tinker or a rock? You're a rock, aren't you? Rock
I think I'm a tinker.
Yeah. You're a tinker, yeah. No, but I mean, very similar. Tinkers are rock gnomes. You have to sneak. You're still pretty secretive creatures, not as secretive as your forest cousins, and not as horrendously aggressive as your deep gnome cousins. You're still pretty sneaky. You come forward and to where the elves' Ereth will be 90 feet away, 90 yards away. Sorry, like here, and then the rest of the party will be another. Whatever we said it was, 400 back or something from the elves, and essentially he says if they discover you, scream loudly and start running, or something.
That was roughly the plan. Thank you.
Yeah.
Glad we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah. He says the presumed plan in such a case would be to ambush whoever pursued you and then leave.
Yes,
basically. Definitely. Yeah. You'll come in terms of where they've identified. You kind of probably look around for a bit, but it's not impossible at this point. You look around a bit, and you will see a kind of large area of what looks like deadfall at first. It is deadfall technically, but which increasingly becomes clear. You can kind of see occasional movement amongst it, and you're fairly sure. You can see a kind of some sort of it's sized for you. You actually wonder, you're like, oh, probably like Jones or Sam Hambat would have missed this or something. Like it's sized for you. It's a similar height to you, I guess. You're like 3 feet tall or something. It's maybe slightly taller than you. Size for a small creature. There's a passage through, but you'll see you'll just see movement sometimes in amidst the deadfall. Your infra will somewhat work and pick up a bit of extra stuff here, just give you a hint in the heavy forest, and you'll think that maybe there are a few shapes in and amongst the deadfall, and there's a passage through. So that is what you see, and they seem to be watching. These figures occasionally stop, look out, you're probably at some point hear a bark or growl or something, like slightly odd, you'll look out, and they seem to be looking out towards you, but they don't seem to see you.
Well, it doesn't matter how sneaky you are, you can't beat a dog's nose, so I don't want to get too close. I might try doing
you can beat it with a stick.
Well,
bad dog.
I think it might be worth trying to do like a lap, see if there's another entrance perhaps, or an obvious point where somewhere sensible to set up an ambush, or even just see how much movement.
What's your move silently?
55.
Oh, what was your hiding shadows? Sorry.
Hiding shadows. Not as good. Where is it? Hiding shadows. 25.
Cool. Okay, you're now moving silently round. You've kind of identified the deadfall area, the area of heavy woodfall. The elves have identified as they're like that's where they think they live. You'll continue and sneak round. You will see basically there's a lot of blocked area. It's not an enormous ground area. You know, it's not like, oh yes, it's the size of a centre parks or something.
Yeah.
You can hear the families riding their bikes inside. Do not allow in. You're too poor. Yeah, it's not that big actually, but you know there is an area which subtly it is kind of you can pick up has been blocked. What you will let's have a think about what else you'll identify. You'll again see shapes occasionally just in amongst the heavy woodwork, heavy tree fall. You think people could climb in amongst it theoretically, but you don't know obviously what condition it is otherwise. You will also come across outside the, like as you come all the way around to the northern end, you'll identify it's not concealed, but you will spot kind of really think again maybe a gnome or a dwarf would be the only people to spot, not concealed, not hidden, but you're a passage heading into the ground, like which looks it's been worked. You know, you're a miner. You know this stuff.
Yeah.
It's been worked.
So this one on the north side, and what side was the first one?
The south side. You've gone around the east, is my assumption.
Yeah. So I guess I'll continue on, finish my lap, go back to where I started.
Yep. Right. And yes, you'll continue around, and you'll again see an area here, which you will identify as you come round that there is a large ditch on this side, which is semi-hidden, but is easier to avoid. It's just something which is a large obstacle, which tracks. Given that you're going around a reasonably large settlement area of some kind, it's obviously this side the woodfall is heaviest, and you don't see much movement, but then it is very heavy on this side.
And this is on the west side.
The western side, yeah.
Does the ditch look natural or like they've carved out a trench?
Again, looks like construction to you.
Yeah. Okay, I've got one idea.
I would say one extra thing is you can see there is you'll probably have identified, like looking up, you can see there is more stuff in amongst the trees, but I don't think, remember you are 3 foot tall, and you're at ground level. You have no idea what's up there. So I'd probably say, but you will spot that. I think that's a fair thing to give you. So what else? Was there another question?
Yeah, I think I'm going to head back to the elves and then talk to them about this idea, because I think having another opinion on it, even if it's an NPC, because I've not really seen anyone. Like I know there's definitely goblins here. I've kind of seen them lurking around the entrances, but no idea of real numbers. So I wonder if it's worth like using an illusion or something to cause a commotion or something at one of the entrances. See how they react. If I cause maybe not even a big commotion, just use an illusion to make like a wolf puppy or something to walk out the forest and see does someone come out to deal with it? Do they just ignore it? Get some idea of how.
Yeah, I mean, you can return to the elves and you can return to the group. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll go back. Tell them what I found. And then
Andrew, do you want to roll a D6 encounter for the fact you spent time here? Oh no, Simon, you roll a D6. Oh well, Simon, roll 1 too because you're spending the day there. So Simon can roll 1 anyway. Roll a D6, Simon.
2.
Yeah, great. So you will rendezvous with the Elziereth, and the elves will come back to where the lynx is guarding the idiot plainlanders. I guess you can share what you've seen and share your plans. What do you want to do? I guess running up to next time. Any further questions for this session? And what are you planning for next session? Make your plans now.
I think next session it might be worth trying to set up a few ambushes to try and deplete their numbers somewhat before You know,
Yeah,
a more frontal assault. I mean, do any of us speak Goblin? Or Orc? Or Skro, if they have their own language?
I speak common.
So,
I speak Xixchil.
I'd like to ask
This is when you realise Jones doesn't speak any other languages. You just have to make a list on that.
I speak common as well, but no, I don't speak goblin or anything.
do any of the elves
They're not paying customers.
no Goblin?
whatever language the Skro speak, I speak.
Yeah, I was going to say. So in terms of the those races in the in the Skro fleet in the Skro nations, will generally speak some Skro. Like as a kind of the elves would have thought that until the fall of Spiral, goblins here didn't speak that, but they know that they have outsiders with them now. So
I think perhaps our plan should be set an ambush, try and take a prisoner, and then interrogate the prisoners, try and figure out their numbers. And then from their numbers we can decide if it's worth risking a frontal assault or if we should continue guerrilla tactics.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, they're dug in, they're underground. Like, that's going to make things difficult. Make it very easy to smoke them out. Well, I guess if we really want to, we could set them on fire.
Yeah, in this jungle war, everyone is a bit calm. Yeah.
I mean, that's a good thing, because that means no one has to be the Americans.
We value our American customers.
As long as they pay.
Yeah. I mean, that's more or less Europe's attitude, isn't it? Give money.
But I thought the whole thing was that the American corporations didn't pay their taxes.
No. Okay, Sean Penn, is the corporations being all corporation-y? That's a good film. People should go back to that. Feel like it's unjustly neglected film.
What film is this? Zulu.
Zulu is an unjustly neglected film. But that's also a good source of D&D rules, as everyone in this group can agree.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Team America.
Team America.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The corporations are all corporation-y.
Yeah, and then the corporation. Okay, Sean Penn. Yeah, great. Okay.
Isn't it Tim Robbins?
So, well, Sean Penn is the leader of the Film Actors Guild, isn't he? Tim Robbins is also involved, and Matt Damon obviously as well. And I think Susan Sarandon possibly. Yeah, great.
I believe Alec Baldwin is actually the...
Oh, Alec Baldwin is the leader. I think it's short. Alec Baldwin is the leader, right? Sean Penn, I do think, whines a lot. In real life as well as in the film. No offense, Sean Penn, if you're watching. We all appreciate your appearances in such films as... great. So yes, I guess we'll leave that there. And yeah, do you want to... Probably someone write up on the Discord, write up a plan, discuss and write up the plan for next time so that we can roll into that. Because you've got a few ideas, like you've got send an illusion, set a fire, whatever. You just need to agree that probably for next time, and then we can roll out pretty much straight away next time for that.
Yeah,
that sounds good. Yeah, I was going to say this is some good AD&D big party action here. Like 16 attackers. Unknown tons of defenders. What the game was made for. Cool. Okay then. I should present. Thanks people for tuning in. I'm going to end the stream and we'll be back in soon, probably 2 weeks. Thank you. Good night. I was going to say, Andrew, given what you're saying, I think 2 weeks ago, yeah, we actually capped out at